What is justice? Are the Marines right about the actions they take? This is a question that is quite central to the story of One Piece. The world government play a huge role in the entire series, an organization that is constantly at odds against the idea of piracy and freedom. And the fleet admiral on top of this organization is Akainu. Akainu is one of the most important antagonists in One Piece, due to him being responsible for taking the life of Luffy's brother Ace, and the several actions he takes in the name of justice that he needs to uphold. But is Akainu right about his actions? Is Akainu as evil as the readers make him out to be? This video is going to be a deep dive into the character of Akainu. Throughout the story of One Piece, an interesting aspect about the admirals that have been introduced in the series is the fact that each of them has a unique view of justice. Although they all work under the same organization and wear the same uniforms, they all have different morals and views on what they deem to be true justice. This explores the idea of justice not being objective, but instead being based on your personal experiences and your beliefs. Aokiji used to go by lazy justice, where he would sometimes pursue justice and would show little effort in doing so. Kizaru acts on unclear justice, where he would rarely question his authority but only to follow orders. Fujitora goes by humane justice, where he prioritizes the lives of the innocent over anything. And Greenbow acts on determined justice, where he believes the subjugation of others and prioritizing the existing power structure is the way to maintain order, even if those in power are corrupt. But Akainu's form of justice is the most prevalent and the most influential in the world government, and that is absolute justice. Absolute justice is the most extreme and most strict form of justice followed by the Marines. The philosophy of absolute justice is that any form of evil must be eradicated at all costs. Even if there is a possibility of evil occurring, that possibility must be taken out no matter what. No matter how cruel or how extreme the action might be in taking out the evil, the ends justify the means. That is the type of attitude that Akainu goes by. In his view of the world, he believes there are only two categories, evil and justice. He doesn't try to see a middle ground, or at least try to use context in his pursuit of justice. If there is even a slight possibility of someone going against the rules and the laws of the world government, he will eliminate them. During the Ohara incident with the Buster Call, the citizens of Ohara were being wiped out because the researchers were looking into the voice entry, which was against the law. So because they went against the Marines by looking into something that they weren't supposed to, Sakatsuki saw the land of Ohara as evil. Even the innocent citizens who had nothing to do with the research were wiped out by Sakatsuki because he was scared of the possibility that one of the scholars may have crept onto the ship. Instead of trying to question them or letting the innocents evacuate, he instead destroys the entire evacuation ship that includes innocent children who had nothing to do with it. It's not that he enjoys killing innocent people and terrorizing them. He believes that the ends justify the means, meaning that killing innocent people is acceptable if it can lead to true justice. And that was our first introduction to Sakatsuki before he became a major player during the war at Marineford. And this introduction was very impactful because it was our first time seeing how far someone is willing to go for the sake of justice. And Akainu carries on with the same view during Marineford, where we see him kill his own men for retreating the battlefield. He saw the Marines running away as a form of betrayal and a lack of conviction in what they are fighting for. So Akainu sees that as a form of evil, because whether it be his own men or pirates, he will punish and eliminate anyone who doesn't align with the justice of the Marines. And he was even going to kill Kobe just for telling everyone to stop fighting and causing any more unnecessary bloodshed. Because Kobe didn't align with Akainu's form of justice and interfered with his battle against the Whitebeard pirate, he saw Kobe as an enemy of justice too. Absolute justice means more to Akainu than anything in the world. He believes that if the world doesn't have justice, there will be nothing but evil and chaos. We see that he is relentless with his pursuit of justice, just like how he could not let Ace and Luffy leave Marineford. The goal was to execute Ace, and Akainu made sure that that was going to happen no matter what, because if he lets Ace escape, it will damage the reputation of the Marines who let a pirate escape his execution. And just like before with Ohara, Akainu does not try to see a middle ground, or even try and see why Ace deserved to be executed. He only saw Ace as the son of Goldie Roger, so therefore Akainu viewed Ace as evil, who needed to be eradicated as the one and only son of the king of the pirates. But from Luffy's eyes, he views Ace as family and someone that he looked up to. But from Akainu's eyes, he sees Ace as the son of the Pirate King, who literally embodies everything that Akainu stands against. And he has the same attitude towards Luffy as well, because he is the son of Monkey D. Dragon, the leader of the revolutionaries. And just like with Ace, Luffy is also a bearer of the will of D, which was stated to be the enemy of the world government. So back during the war to Marineford, Akainu already saw the potential threat that Luffy would pose against the world government. And in hindsight, he was right, because of Luffy's connection to Joy Boy. He views Luffy as evil just like his father, and was relentless in his pursuit of killing Luffy after killing Ace. He doesn't try to look at the context to see if Luffy and Ace are evil, nor does he even acknowledge the fact that Luffy has saved islands from evil tyrants. But because they are pirates who had ties with two massive figures who went against the world government, Akainu believes it is his duty to eliminate them. But why does Akainu hate pirates? What caused him to form a philosophy about absolute justice? Well, pirates have been devastating islands and people for years. Through his years as a marine, Savfk has seen pirates commit the worst crimes. Pirates have murdered innocent civilians, taken over islands, stolen treasure and money from islands, and they have ruined the lives of many people through their actions. It's these crimes that led to Savfk wanting to eradicate every last pirate so that evil can no longer exist in the world. And even we as the reader have seen how evil and cruel these pirates can be. Like for example, the Arlong pirates, Doflamingo, Crocodile, Captain Kuro, and Blackbeard. We have seen how cruel pirates can be, and how they enjoy looting and oppressing those weaker than them. But not every pirate is like this. There are pirates out there that just love to live their life the way that they want to. There are pirates that love to explore the world, visiting new islands and meeting new people, and the Straw Hats are the best example of this. Each member of the crew has a goal that they want to reach, and being a part of the Straw Hat Pirates is how they can achieve their goals. They care more about the journey and being free than looting islands and causing suffering for others. And we as the readers have seen how many times they have saved people and given them their freedom back from those who took it away from them. Even in islands where the Marines are supposed to protect them, the citizens view the Straw Hats as more heroic than even the Marines themselves, despite them being pirates. But from Akainu's perspective, he views the Straw Hats as no different than the other pirates he deems to be evil. Luffy not only declared war on the world government at Enies Lobby, but he also punched the Celestial Dragon in Sabaody. And these are crimes against the world government, and these are also reasons for why Akainu would see Luffy as evil. But because of his absolute justice, he doesn't want to look at the context or the real reason for why Luffy did those actions. His stubborn sense of justice stops him from doing so. Maybe if Akainu grew up around good pirates who just want to live their life to the fullest, then maybe his whole perspective on pirates will be drastically different. So with Akainu, he believes that the Marines are the true form of justice, and he views all pirates including Luffy to be evil. But with Luffy, he believes everyone should have a chance at living their life in true freedom. And from his perspective, he views Akainu as evil because he killed his brother. And the Straw Hats also view the Celestial Dragons as evil because of how much damage and suffering they have caused to others. And this same view applies to us as the reader. We tend to see Akainu as a villain or someone we can hugely dislike because of his acts of extremism. But from our viewing of the series, we have seen how caring of a brother Ace was to Luffy during their flashback. And we know that Ace didn't deserve to get executed because he never once committed horrific crimes to justify it. And we see the Celestial Dragons that live on Marija to be evil because we have seen the many atrocious acts that they have committed, from the acts of slavery, the discrimination against fishermen, and the acts of genocide for leisure. Whereas we see the Straw Hat Pirates as the true heroes of the story, who will one day save the world, even though the Marines believe that they are the heroes. And this begs the question on what is justice? Is Akainu right about his actions because of his perspective on pirates? This is what makes Akainu such a compelling character in the story. We can't really fault him for having so much hatred against pirates, because we have seen how cruel they can be, so it is understandable why he would go to such lengths to kill evil at his roots. He does not enjoy killing or even getting rid of innocent people if it can contribute to justice. He just has a very strict sense of duty. Unlike characters like Enel, Crocodile, Doflamingo and Arlong, who enjoy causing the suffering of others, Akainu never shows joy in doing so. He almost never smiles when he is seen carrying out his duty, nor does he celebrate his victory over defeating pirates, because he just takes his job as a marine very seriously. And that is what makes him so intimidating, because of how realistic he approaches things. And the way that Oda wrote his character to be a parallel to Luffy is what makes their conflict so interesting. Both characters are leaders of both groups, and they inspire others through their actions. Luffy inspires others through his acts of freedom, whereas Akainu inspires others through his discipline and control. The Straw Hats have each been saved by Luffy and were inspired to achieve their dreams and live freely. But Akainu's sense of justice after becoming the Fleet Admiral has greatly influenced the way that the world government operates. And one clever contrast between them is how they both hate oppression, but they go about it in opposite ways. Luffy hates oppression because it takes away the freedom of others, whereas Akainu hates oppression because it goes against the order of things. So he deems the oppressors as evil. It's the same outcome on both sides, but their values is what differentiates them. But the greatest irony in Akainu's character is that although he views pirates as evil and views the Marines as the righteous side of justice, he is no different to the pirates that he hates so much. Even though Akainu hates criminals, he still serves the world government, one of the most corrupt organizations in the world. He is aware of the world government doing cover-ups to maintain their reputation, like when they didn't give Luffy the credit of beating Crocodile, all the time when Akainu was angry about Fujitora not wanting to take the credit of defeating Doflamingo. He hates piracy because of how chaotic and dangerous it can be, but the world government have also committed horrific acts as bad as the pirates have. The world government committed genocide on the land of Ohara, they wiped out the Luchi Kingdom, they were also aware of the amber lead ore from the White City being toxic, but they hid the truth because the amber lead brought in so much profit, and this led to the white lead disease affecting the citizens, and they were massacred, including Law's entire family. The Celestial Dragons have enslaved and murdered so many people, and Akainu is aware of this corruption, but he would still rather serve them over siding with pirates. He would prefer to side with order and discipline, rather than side with complete anarchy, even if that order is imperfect and flawed. That is the true irony behind Akainu. And that is the character of Akainu, a man who believes that what he is doing is right for the sake of ridding the world of evil, with the expense of the lives of the innocent if need be. He represents everything that Luffy goes against, like his freedom and his lovable adventurous nature. But Akainu believes in strict order and discipline to make the world free from evil. The way he contrasts with Luffy is what makes him one of the most compelling antagonists in One Piece. Do you think Akainu is right? Would you consider him to be evil, or is he just a man with a strong sense of duty? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.